Hello, everyone. War in general is not a fun subject. To quote Barbara Bush, war is not nice. And today, closer to the end of this report, we're going to be talking about some pretty heavy-duty subjects. So if you're triggered by the mentions of atrocities, genocide, etc., I'm just warning you that is coming. Meanwhile, I don't even know how many times I said before that for all of Turkey's posturing as a potential mediator and peacemaker between Russia and Ukraine, it is definitely erring on the side of Russia, especially considering their own state of affairs at home, autocratic state, human rights violations, etc. So once again, we have a meeting between Putin and Erdogan, talking about the grain deal. And the question is, where is everybody else affected by the grain deal? Yeah, crickets. Russia once again claimed it destroyed a bunch of Ukrainian boats. And again, I cannot confirm this because they lie. So far, I don't see any other reports about this. Vladimir Zelensky fired the defense minister, Alexei Reznikov, saying that they need to change the direction after 19 months of war. I don't know much about Mr. Reznikov or about his successor, Rustem Umerov, so I'm going to ask around from some knowledgeable folks who might know better and might come back with a separate conversation about that, so hopefully more to come. Not surprisingly, in this whole conversation about the grain deal, Russia complains that it was forced to pull out by the West. And it says it's not coming back into the deal unless its demands are met. So what are its demands? What they're saying is that they demands regarding Russian export of food and fertilizer hadn't been met, specifically sanctions affecting Russia's exports. What they're neglecting to mention is that the sanctions were imposed as the result of Russia's attack of Ukraine. So they can fix this quite easily, as I mentioned many times before. The moment they stop attacking Ukraine, they might get what they want. The sanctions might go away. So I'm not sure what they're whining about. Either way, what I would really love to see is two things. One, suspension of grain exports to any nation supporting Russia. Period. There have to be consequences. Why should Ukraine risk the lives of its own people to export grains to people who support its invaders? Explain this to me. I don't get it. So that's number one. Number two, everybody else who is benefiting from Ukraine's grain exports has to step up and help Ukraine ensure the safety of those ships, because it's not Ukrainian ships going in and out. That is foreign ships. Okay? Are they not interested in protecting their own cargo workers, sailors, ship captains, etc., etc.? Are they not interested in that? Because if I was working in that industry right now, I would be raising hell with my government. Now, for the unpleasant part, you've heard the news. If you want to stop here, please do, because now we get into the heavy-duty stuff. In March of this year, 6 months ago, United Nations issued a report that said, yes, Russia committed all kinds of horrible things on Ukrainian territory, but it wasn't genocide. Their exact statement was that we have not found that there has been a genocide in Ukraine. That said, they said, we're going to continue gathering evidence, and we'll get back to you. So why is this appalling, and why is this important, and why does this further underline UN's complete impotence in this entire situation? Definition of genocide, according to U.S. Department of Justice, is violent attacks with a specific intent to destroy in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Consider what's been going on in Ukraine the last 19 months. I think that fits. So, we've established that according to the U.S. Department of Justice, genocide is definitely taking place. Let's move on to UN's own definition of genocide. Rendering an area ethnically homogeneous by using force or intimidation to remove from a given area persons of another ethnic or religious group. Adding to this, that is contrary to international law. In addition, if you were to look at the UN Charter, if you look in the International Criminal Court definition of genocide, it includes several points. One of them is what is listed here in the definition. Another includes rendering the area where a certain national group resides uninhabitable. Again, look at Mariupol, look at Bucha, look at Irpin, look at Donetsk, Luhansk. All of those places that have been leveled. Look at the area near the Novokakhovka Dam. Is that habitable? So that matches. And another point in that list of things is the forcible removal of people of certain nationality, especially children, from their native country. We have so much evidence of that. Why? Because people who carried out these hideous acts, specifically Putin and Maria Lvova-Belova, bragged about it on international TV. The last but not the least, United Nations has a separate office on genocide prevention and responsibility to protect. And that was the office who said, oh no, there is no genocide in Ukraine, which has me deeply, deeply wondering what in the heck is going on in the UN. What has Russia got that rendered UN so completely and utterly useless? And with it, the likes of Red Cross, Amnesty International, the Pope, everybody, because they largely follow UN's lead in international matters. So nations that are at risk of nationalism, watch out. UN is not going to protect you anymore. Even if you're a member of the UN, it doesn't matter anymore. Based on the actions, the only sensible, responsible body that is interested in protecting your rights as a nation and the rights of your ethnic groups is the International Criminal Court. And who knows how long that is going to be available. Definitely something to keep in mind.